Right, we're going to start healing now so we don't die. And now Warsaw's got a 4th population point. We're going to work the incense. We don't really have a much better option. We could work a hill for 2 hammers, but we're not going to. Just in case you're confused, by the way, production and hammers, when it comes to a type of tile, are interchangeable words. That hill has 2 hammers. It also provides 2 production. As you can see, they're pretty much interchangeable. 30 turns away from the Great Library. We're about halfway done on it. Hopefully we won't get beaten to it. That would be a bit of a pain. Let's talk about that though. Say you're building a wonder and somebody else builds that wonder first. You'll get what is coined fail gold. Excuse the horrible pun there. Fail gold is gold you get from wonders that have been half made. Ooh, we have bronze working. Part of bronze working is that it reveals iron on the map. Iron is very important for different types of military units in particular. Where is the iron? It is here. As we can see, it is in this forest. I actually deem that now to be a worthwhile tile to use. Again, we lose 2 gold, we lose a faith, we lose a culture in return for just 1 production. However, we really need to get the Great Library out as soon as possible. It's very important to us. We've also now got access to another social policy. We're going to get Republic because it allows us to increase our production. If you want to have a look again, Republic provides 1 production in every city and a 5% bonus in cities when constructing buildings. We're not constructing a building right now, we're constructing a wonder, so that's not too useful to us. What do we want to research next? What we're going to do is go straight to currency. Why, you may ask? The reason is because in Gods and Kings, gold was very easy to get. Gods and Kings, by the way, is the first Civilization 5 expansion pack. Gold in this game, it works a bit more differently, and at the start of the game it tends to be much more tight. That is why we're going to rush to currency. Let's just point out as well, this iron that we've got in our city is 6 iron. The iron that our warrior is on currently is 2 iron. Obviously the iron that we've got in our city right now provides 3 times as much iron. Have I said iron enough times then? Each time you make a unit, for example, at some point down the line, we'll be able to make swordmen. Now swordmen require iron to be built. They require 1 per unit. If you used up all your iron making swordmen, and then you lost the city that had access to the iron, you would get what is called strategic resource penalty. If, for example, when you're healing, let's think logistically here, you're healing by getting your equipment repaired, aren't you? Or getting extra manpower. If you don't have the resource that you need, you therefore can't, enhance your unit, and therefore you get a resource penalty. The Zulu have a 3rd city. Rome has a 3rd city. They are spamming cities. This would normally be a big issue. It's not as big an issue as it would look, because we know that Venice can't make settlers, so we can build all around here with very little consequence, albeit there's not a whole lot of brilliant land there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. There's not a whole lot of brilliant land over here either, for that matter. What we're going to do is just keep moving our unit around to try and find more barbarian encampments. Barbarian encampments are a brilliant way of getting gold early on in the game. Has Shaka got writing? No, because we can't get an embassy of his. Has Rome? No. So we know by default that neither of those are trying to build the Great Library. Venice could, but we got a head start because they offered to accept embassies with us, so we knew they had writing at that point. So I am now reasonably confident we're going to get the Great Library. It's only 11 turns away. As you may be able to tell, the start of this game is rather slow. It is because I have it on the marathon setting. It's not quite this bad on faster speeds. However, I feel this is a more realistic portrayal of history, hence we put it on. We have animal husbandry, so we can see horses now on the map, because for some reason we have a weird horse obliviousness beforehand. And we can now build a trade unit. That is how in this new expansion that we earn gold. By the way, this is the top of the map. You can tell because the warrior should have a vision of 2. It can see 2 tiles away. This is still cloud and it's 2 tiles away. Therefore we know it's the top of the map. There are horses here to the northwest of Warsaw. There's a pile of 4 horses. There's 4 horses just to the south of us. We're not lacking in horses, which is important for us because our unique unit being Poland is a horse. There are more horses by this marble. There are horses by this marble. We're not lacking for potential horses. But let's stop horsing around and get to the next turn. You may be wondering, what am I meant to be doing at this stage of the game? I chose to increase my production. As soon as possible, I will get a worker unit. That does what you would expect. It works. It improves your city's resources. For example, this wheat is just wheat at the moment. It's not a farm. It's just wheat. When we get wheat and we turn it into a farm, we can make it produce even more food. This iron is just iron in the middle of a forest right now. Once we get it a mine, it will produce more production. This wine is just a load of grapes in bushes. Once we've turned it into a plantation, it will earn more gold. Do you understand where I'm coming from? We now know that Rome has writing, and we have the Great Library.
Libraries are the shrine where all the relics of the ancient saints.
The Great Library is a very useful, library, obviously, but it's also a very useful wonder because it provides a free technology for us and a free library. We can pick any of these for free, any whatsoever. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter which one I pick right this second right now. But I'm going to try and pick one, either drama and poetry or ironworking, because they're the most expensive of the ones I can choose. We're going to pick drama and poetry.
What is drama but life?
And it means that we're now into the classical era. And what that means is that we get a free social policy. And we can build a writers' guild. That improves our tourism potential. But we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is go for collective rule. We get a free settler, which means we can make another city. What this does mean, though, is I don't want to make this city population grow anymore. Because the number of cities you have impacts your happiness in a bad way. Population will be stagnant at 4 if we work the tiles we are working, so we're going to stick with that. And what we are going to do is, where are we going to settle? We are going to settle... It's a very tough question. I feel as if we're going to settle... Ooh, there's a lot of options, a lot of spare land, obviously, because you can see it all. Where are we going to settle, guys? I think what we're going to do is settle there, because there's a wonder that we're going to get quite quickly that will help that location. So what do we want to build here next? We're going to build a shrine because we might as well go for a religion. I wasn't thinking about doing so in this game, but we might as well. Let's quickly talk about the opposition here. As you can see, next to all of their names is neutral. That's how they feel about us. They are all neutral to us because they don't actually know that much about us right now. As you can see, there are things associated with that. We have no contested border with them. Therefore, that is a positive. Hence, it's got green writing. We also have an embassy with each other, and that is a positive. Hopefully that will be signs of happy things in the future. We have archery. We can build archery units. As you may guess, they are not melee units. Rather, they are units that attack from a distance, and in melee combat are very poor. We have a second city, Krakow, or Krakow. And we're going to work an oasis. Unfortunately, our happiness now is 0. So as soon as our happiness goes up, obviously we're in for a trouble. Actually, we'll work the wheat. It's 1 food less and 1 gold less, but it's 1 hammer more. Where do we want to take our warrior? Let's try and take this barbarian encampment now, otherwise it's just going to cause us more and more problems. Our gold count is quite high. It's not high enough yet for what we need to do though, hence I've not discussed it. To buy a worker costs in marathon mode 700 gold. Once we get to 700 gold I will be buying a worker. Workers, as I've said, can improve terrain and make your cities more financially and production and food based more sound. But more importantly, incense, wine, that silver, the marble down here, they are known as luxury resources. Luxury resources provide happiness. Can you add 2 and 2 together and see why we're going to try and get a worker so quickly? Indeed. We're struggling with happiness, therefore we're going to try and boost our happiness by having nice resources improved that make our population happy. We have a shrine. What we're going to do is go for the Parthenon. It provides a nice amount of culture, and obviously our unique ability being culture based means it's quite a lucrative thing for us to do. It also means I can show you a bit about tourism. Ooh, there's a barbarian encampment there I did not know about. Let's take that out. Next turn. Our unit took a pummeling there. So much so that we're going to probably run away. We now have the wheel as a technology. We're going to run and go back later. Our units heal more health when they're in our city grounds. When they're outside our city grounds they heal 10 per turn. In our city they heal 20 per turn. Genuinely in the city within your terrain they heal 25 per turn. However, you can't move and heal at the same turn unless you have that military promotion, which we don't and we won't do for a while yet, so don't worry about that. Krakow is about to grow to a second population point, and then I'll be able to show you what unhappiness does and what problem unhappiness causes, or problems unhappiness causes. Not all of the problems I can show you because you need to get a certain level of unhappiness, but I will show you all the ones that I can. And we've taken that out for gold, and now we can get a worker. We could actually get a worker before, but I don't like buying and leaving myself with 0 gold just in case I get attacked or something like that. As it happens, we can't actually improve the wine or the incense right now. Reason being is rather simple. We don't have the technology required to do it. We require calendar. It might actually be worth going for it immediately. We'll go for calendar and then we'll go to currency. For the time being though, we're going to build a worker by buying it, and we're going to start improving the horses. Horses give extra production when they are worked. You put a stable and a ringed fence around them. I believe that is the improvement, with a pasture, and that will make that tile better. Now our empire is unhappy. The cities will grow at quarter speed, and our gold and production output is reduced by 2% for each point of unhappiness. We only have 1, so each drop by only 2%. Our units also suffer a 2% combat drop. It's not desperate times, call for desperate measures by any stretch, but you don't want to have unhappiness if you can get around it. I couldn't get around it, unfortunately, but luckily for us it's only 1 unhappiness and it won't last very long. We're going to heal up. Now my concern for this map in terms of how we're going to win it is that Rome has the potential in particular of building a lot of cities. Our one saving grace is that his unique units, he gets 2 unique units, he doesn't get a unique building. Both of them are early game units. This is another list that was arbitrarily made and it shows how happy different empires are. We're unhappy, hence we've got -1. Shaka's barely happy, Augustus Caesar's reasonably happy, and Venice's population is incredibly happy. But anyway, we're now healed and back up to full strength. We're going to start wandering over here again just in case we see badness. So next turn. The Parthenon is quite an expensive wonder, hence it's taking so long to build, and now we can get a worker for free. So we're going to do that. And our workers improve tiles 25% more quickly. So we're going to do that by constructing a mine on this iron. It's got forest. If you chop forest down, you give production to the nearest city. Presumably the wood can then be used to burn in the city, for example. It does mean that improvement takes longer though. Constructing this mine will take 26. Creating this pasture took about 50% less time. It's going to take about 50% less time than that. Maybe a bit less. Maybe about a third less time-ish. Chopping the forest takes time, you see. But it does have the production benefit, so it's not all bad. We've not seen any barbarians in this area, but we're going to keep looking. And now Krakow has a monument. We're going to build a library because we want more science. For science!